एक वर्ग के लिए जो कानून है वो दूसरे को क्यों ना मिले? जब हम देश के कानून बोल रहे, देश के नागरिक बोल रहे हैं, चाहे बच्चे हों चाहे वयस्क हों, बड़े हों, हम क्यों उसमें डिस्क्रिमिनेट कर रहे हैं?
यहाँ जो लोग हमारे देश में लोकतंत्र चाहते हैं, हर समुदाय अपने लिए अक्सर चाहता है, तो लेकिन जो चाहते हैं अपने लिए, वो दूसरों को लेकर के इतना ज्यादा हिंसा, ये हमें टेस्टिमनीज में दिखा।
We want support from government institutions, we want recognition from the government, and in a context जहाँ family में violence हो रहा है, तो recourse तो लेना है, and there is no legal recourse available because the family is naturalized as the sole source of protection and care. If you continue to think of the family as the only naturalized site of care, फिर तो ये institutions भी उसका ही extension होगा.
Actually, a lot of violence begins in childhood, and the children are unable to assert their identity. In that sense. So you see a lot of physical abuse, emotional abuse, mental abuse, threat to what is it called? Threat of suicide. Parents saying that unless you conform, we will commit suicide. And you actually also we heard a lot of cases of threat of sexual assault and rape, corrective rape. There were instances when we heard where they said that, I don't think you're aware of what, heterosexual relationship means. So why don't we show you that? So that then you change. And I think the law doesn't really address it at all, because that's the whole issue, right? For whatever it is, for children's protection, it is the family that the law by default falls back on. So even when people approach the state machinery, whether it is in minors or adult children, they'll always ask you to go back to that family, because that is still seen as where you get your protection. I mean, even if we remember in that Shafi Jahan's case, one of the first reactions of the Supreme Court was to say, why don't you go back?
There have been a couple of cases, I think, from the NCR region where the police, again colluding with the family, broke into these shelters and took trans men away. Themselves, in fact, right now, a lot of them have gone dormant because there's not been funding. And I think the realization that transgender does not mean just hijra and kinnah, but also a lot of people that families consider quote unquote women and want to protect as women, and the whole patriarchal way of thinking of returning people to their native family is acting up, and I feel that there's a lot of hesitation even on the part of the people who are running the trans boards, even community members who are staffing the Garima Graha, oh my God, if this attracts masculine people, there's going to be family violence, there's going to be police involved. Let's not deal with this mess.
In terms of what we are asking, so one is in the petition itself, we are asking for some rights to recognize the families that we create, families of choice, and secondly, to reduce the control of the assigned family on all of us and our lives. Fostering is one thing that we are looking at. The current policy on fostering is actually saying that only a heterosexual family can foster a child. And I don't think that that's what is conducive to a queer trans child. There are, so if we can change those policies, if we can extend Domestic Violence Act to, even those assigned male and above 18, because it's applicable to children and it's applicable to women after that. How do we implement the fact that the family should be responsible for maintenance of their children, even of adult dependent children? So I think that this is the kind of thing that we are wanting to explore further within the PWDVA, but also outside of it. So there are new imaginations in existing laws.